Hello, my lords and ladies, and welcome to our third to last episode of Elden Ring. We were trying to get this out last week, but we are here this week with a new episode. First off, I want to say thank you to all my YouTube members and all of the people who support this channel. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscription button, hit that thumbs up, hit the bell so you can learn whenever we go with a new video. We also do DMD videos. We also do a whole bunch of stuff. If you become a member as well, you do get early access to these videos for the entire week on one day, usually on Sunday. We're a little bit behind schedule, but without further ado, let's go. Alright, we are going to start off with spray painting this in black and then white from above, creating that zenithal highlighting. We're going to do all the base colors, and then we are going to do a shade and then a ton of dry brushing. So there seems like a lot of steps in this miniature. There's not. It's actually pretty chill, pretty good. Just it's pretty big, so it does take a little bit longer. Alright, so we're going to paint a lot of this horse in this brass balls color from P3. If you don't have this, just pick something specific. Retributor Armour will work. A bronze will work. It doesn't need to be this specifically, but just this color. So follow along. We're going to paint all of this area in 3 segments. For the bottom portion, we're going to do that chain armor in some iron warriors. Again, if you don't have this, just a dark, you can also just do a silver and add some black to it. That works just as well. To kind of match what our art looks like from the Elden Ring game, we're going to pick out some of those pieces of armor leaflets, I guess you could say, and we're going to put some brass balls on there. Just randomize whatever you want, put it somewhere. Alright, for our shield on the front side and the back side, we're going to do some Deathless Metal, another P3 paint. If you don't have this, just do a Warp Block Bronze, some type of bronze color. These surfaces that we are painting are perfect for dry brushing, so slap all that paint on there. We're going to use quite a bit of paint for each area because it is a larger model. For the horsey, we're just going to do some straight up Nulin Oil. So all that skin that you can see is going to be in the Nulin Oil. Pretty simple. For the tail of our horsey, we're going to do some Black Legion. You can also do Nulin Oil if you wanted to. You don't have this, but I wanted to make it a little bit darker. For the seat, our Tree Sentinel is sitting on, and if you have fought these before, these are absolutely a pain in the butt in the beginning of the game. Some of the hardest kind of mini bosses that you'll face. As the game goes on, it does get a lot easier, but we're going to paint that seat in some Wyldwood. We're also going to use this on the strap that is coming down from the horsey face area. So just put that on there. For the bottom portion below the seat, we're going to do some Snakebite Leather. Pretty simple, nothing too insane. Just give it that leather look. For the cape on our Tree Sentinel, we're going to do some Waagh flesh. Just do that entire cape on the back and on the inside. Don't forget those shoulders as well. And for our last base paint, we're going to do some Hobgrot Hide on the Tree Sentinel helmet portion that is coming out. And this is the helmet I used for the entirety of the game after it dropped for me. It's an amazing piece of gear. Alright, for all of our gold, we are going to do some Agrax Earthshade. We are also going to put this onto the shield and on the top of our helmet as well. So you're going to be using a lot of Agrax on this. Get a large brush and just hammer down on it. Pardon my terrible shot of this, but we're going to do a quick dry brush of some Retributor Armour on the back of the raised areas. Don't overdo it. Very, very light. I used a straight dry brush on this, so a straight edge, and just really try to do it as light as possible. For all of our metal areas, which is just the bottom portion, we are going to do some Nulin Oil on there. Pretty simple. And finally, for our cape, we're going to use some Athnian Camoshade on there. Don't worry about the gold. It'll mix in a little bit. If you get a little too heavy on one area, it's not a big deal. We're going to paint over that here in the highlight step coming up. Alright, so I decided, after everything was completely dry, to go over our gold with the original, which was solid gold, and all we're doing is a dry brush. I am using a large dry brush and going over all the areas. Again, you're getting most of that paint off, and you're just keeping a little bit on there, and you are creating highlights by the dry brushing. This model is absolutely perfect for dry brushing, and it saves a ton of time, and it looks fantastic at the end. For the shield, again, another perfect surface to do a dry brush. We're doing some Blighted Gold from P3. You could use a little bit less of a brass or a bronze look if you do not have any P3 paints, but just something similar to this to give it some contrast in the bronze. For our next dry brush, we're going to use some cold steel. You can use Ruinfang steel if you do not have this, or another silverish color, and we're just dry brushing those little leaflet pieces of armor. Continuing with our dry brush, we're going to use some Dawnstone on our tail of our horse. You can also do this a little bit onto the legs and face and ears if you would like as well. Just be careful around that gold. For the top of the helmet, we are going to use some Ushabti Bone on there. Again, some more dry brushing. I am also switching out all my dry brushes every time I use one color, specifically for the non-metals, and using a fresh dry brush on the non-metal areas. You can use the same dry brush on metal areas if you would like. It doesn't really make that big of a difference, especially from the silver to the gold or the gold to the silver. It's going to be a negligible, you know what I mean, difference. To highlight up our horsey a little bit, we're going to just use some pure gray Seer. A little bit on the ears, the face, the nose, specifically on, if you're looking at it, the right side of the face of the horse. The bottom side where the horse's head is kind of tilted down, I kept that dark. So as if the sun were hitting on it, you wouldn't really see how much light was on there. So it does look pretty good in my opinion. Alright, moving on, I think this would be the last part before we do the base. We're going to just do a reapplication of Waagh flesh, and we're really just going over the top raised portions of all of the areas. We're not going too crazy with it. We're not getting every single nook and cranny. We're literally just trying to do those raised areas in the Waagh flesh and building up some highlights in these next steps. Once you're satisfied with your reapplication of your base coat, we're going to do a 50-50 mix of Straken Green and Waagh flesh. And we are going to put this all over the raised areas that we just put this on. Now, if you got some of that gold that you dry brush on there, you really want to focus on those areas as well. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's not really a huge piece that you're going to see, so it is not that important, but you really want to focus on those shoulder areas that you can see in the front. And as a final highlight, we are just going to do some straight Straken Green. Again, on those raised areas, just to brighten it up a little bit and make it look phenomenal. Alright, moving on to the rocks. Just some straight Basilicanum Grey. I did thin this a little bit with some water, just to make that white stick out just a little bit. And then we are going to do some Aggaros Dunes all over the rest of that bottom portion. Yeah. So, nothing too crazy. Again, use a larger brush to get this surface area done quickly, and that white will stick through, and that's all you need to do. And your favorite part of painting the miniature, because it means you're done, is the rim of the base. And we're doing an Abaddon Black. I also did the little lip that comes up from the base portion as well, just to make it uniform. And that is it. That's all she wrote. My lighting is messed up again. I have a terrible time with lighting. I know. I'm going to work on it. It's one of those things I am working on, is to fix the lighting on this. But that's it. That's all she wrote. Nothing too crazy. Turned out pretty good. Going to look fantastic on the game table. So, yeah. Again, I want to thank all my YouTube members for your awesome donations for helping this channel. If you're not a member, think about it. It does support the channel, and we try and pump these out as much as we can. Yeah. If you want to know anything else, you can always hit me up in the comments, and I will send you a message back if you want to see something specifically. But until next time, I love you all. Paint on.